Zulfikar. Um, Thank you very much for supporting Education USA and for the continuous collaboration that we have so far. Alhamdulillah, all of us are still staying healthy during this pandemic, and hopefully we can go through all of this and until the new normal will in the next hopefully next year. Without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Dr. T. Zulfikar to kind of give welcoming remarks. Over to you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good mornings to Indonesian participants and good evenings to Tyson Mannering, Mr. Tyson Mannering from the state. It should be evening there. And first of all, I would like to thank you a lot for these times. I mean, you have been with us twice. I mean, last a couple of months ago and also today. So it was very kind of you to be able to be with us, and we would like to also to have a formal collaboration later on. We're going to talk about that in person through email or through WhatsApp and whatever possible means of communication later on. And for all the participants, thank you for being here. And I hope you will stay to the end of the sessions. Today's presentation is very important actually, because Tyson would like to inform us or explain a bit on the student life in the state. And this is very important for all of us because sometimes when we don't choose the correct campus to study, where accommodation for the students' need are not very available, it's not available easily, so it's very difficult for us to get successful learning. For that reasons, this conversation, this presentation is very important for all of us, especially if we are the head of department of English language department, so we can tell our students or we can describe our students what's needed for the students to be to prepare themselves when they are studying in the state, because a whole different experience that they will like to face when they are in the state. For that reasons, please be with us and also invite all of the student, your colleague, your friends, and to join our free Zoom meetings. And it's very important, it's free Zoom meeting, but you got a lot of knowledge, you know. So, and yeah, I think that's it, Lilis, and thank you to Education USA, by the way, because in collaboration with Education USA, we can invite Mr. Tyson Mannering here, because if I personally, I don't have any connection with the state at the moment, although I'm the alumni of the United States, but Miss Lilis through the Education USA, she get a lot of connections with the state and with the government of the United States of America. For that reason, we'd like to thank Bu Lilis for your continuous support with us. Because Bu Lilis was the student in our department, Ms. Tyson, and now she's also teaching in the department, and now he got a very good positions in the United States agency, which is Education USA. And this is one of the centers in Aceh where Miss Lilis is the first advisors for us. And we are lucky because he is our alumni, so we can claim that our department has been successful leading Lilis to get this important chance, important position. For that reason, we would like to thank you, Lilis, and please help us and please be with us all the times. And I think that's it. I would like to return to Lilis and thank you one more time, Mr. Tyson. We're happy to have you here. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Pak Prof. Dr. Zulfikar, for a very insightful remarks, and I myself feel very mesmerized and and very, very proud actually to be able to collaborate with the department where I graduated, and I see the potential of Achinis actually, especially if I graduated from UIN, and hopefully this session would kind of share lights on how actually the experiences of studying in the US and For today's session, as been mentioned, we're going to learn more or hear more from Tyson Mannering as Director of International Recruitment and Operation Manager from Murray State University on students' life and support services in U.S. University. Or if you kind of not really sure or kind of afraid or worried, how is it like to study in the US? You're gonna travel very far and living alone, probably not with your families. Will the university support you? And this session, you will find the answer. And do not hesitate to ask as many questions as possible. So it will clarify your probably concern about this. And without further ado, I would like to pass the time to our valued speaker today. Tyson, over to you.
All right, well, thank you so much, Lilis, and thank you, Dr. Zulfikar. It's really a pleasure for me to be here today, and thank you for joining. I'm really excited. I did a presentation, I guess maybe 1 or 2 months ago, for the students there in Indonesia, and I really just want to thank you all again. Lilis and Dr. Zulfikar for putting this together. We really appreciate it. My name is Tyson Mannering. I am Director of International Recruitment here at Murray State University. And I'd like to go ahead and share my screen with you. I believe you can all see it. We are, Murray State University is a public university here in the United States. And we have students from around the world that come to our university. Today, I'd like to tell you a little bit more information about student life in the United States. As Lilis and Dr. Zulfikar were talking, coming to the United States that's a big adjustment. You're coming from another country, you're moving to the United States, you've probably never been here before, so it's a big adjustment. It's a large transition. So I'd like to give you some advice. Please feel free to put your questions in the chat box so that I can answer them after the presentation. But you can see here, there are many universities in the United States. There are nearly 5,000 universities, many options to choose from. The United States has 20 million students in higher education, and 1.1 million of those are international students. And actually 10,000 are from Indonesia. So we have students from, as I mentioned, coming from many different countries to the United States. One of the things you can do as you're preparing to apply for admission and to come to the United States is do your research. You want to visit the university websites, you want to look at international student web pages. There are a lot of resources available to you as you're preparing to come to the United States. Also, Education USA, Lilis, I know will be a great resource for you. People like Dr. Zulfikar, they're going to be great resources as well. They've been to the United States before. So you really want to do your research. There are just so many different universities and different institutions that you can choose from. You want to make sure that you're choosing a university that's going to be a good match for yourself. So there are large universities here, universities that have 50, 60,000 students. There are smaller universities. There are medium-sized universities. There are universities that are, considered more competitive in terms of getting admission. There are universities that, offer more scholarships. So it's a huge, you have a lot of options to choose from. One thing to remember is, it's okay to look at universities that you've never heard of before. So a lot of students will go to the list of, the top 30 universities or top 100 universities in the United States. That's great. There are excellent universities, top 100, but there are many other universities that may not show up in the top 100, but those may be some of the best universities for you. So it's really important to kind of do your research. Definitely talk to people like Lilis, talk to people like Dr. Zulfikar, talk to other students. Maybe you have some connections already in the United States. and you'll find something that will be a good match for you. Also, contact the different offices, the international student offices. That's where I work. I'm director of international recruitment. And so that's what we do is we help students, we guide students, we give students information, and it's good to ask questions. It's good to ask questions. Definitely, as you're preparing to come to the United States, you want to, obviously, apply for admission. After you've gotten the admission decision, now you're preparing to come to the United States. You want to really follow the instructions of the international office. So you're going to get bombarded. You're going to get a lot of information, but definitely follow the information that comes from the international student office, because this is the most important information. It's going to talk about arrival, how to, what times to arrive for your flight, when to get to the university, when housing opens. You're going to get a lot of instructions. So it's really important to try to follow the emails that you get. But again, I mean, it's okay to ask questions, because sometimes the websites, the emails, they don't explain everything. So reach out. There will be helpful people at the university that are going to want to help you. So feel free to email. Okay. It's also okay to email professors. It's okay to email staff. Just be a little bit more formal when you're emailing staff and professors. They will be more likely to respond to your emails, if you're writing in a more formal tone. But also for students that are currently at the university, reach out to them as well. It's really good to try to get in contact with students who can give you some advice, right? Usually there will be a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group, some way for you to get in touch with the current students. And this is really good because it's going to give you information that you may not get from the website. So things like how to what to pack, or what kind of clothes to bring, or how to get a cell phone when you arrive to the university, or maybe you're worried about getting a driver's license, or how to buy food at the supermarket. Those kind of things. It's really good sometimes to be able to connect with the students. So try to get on the social media, try to get on the websites of the the different student organizations at the university. And I think what you'll find is the international students will be very happy to meet you and to give you more information. One of the great things that you're going to see when you come to the US is how diverse the community is. So, as I said, you're going to be coming from a long way away. You're in Indonesia, you're going to be coming to the United States, but the people here are very friendly, very welcoming. You're going to see people from around the world. And that's one of the great things about studying in the United States is you will feel very, very welcome here. So it's always, everybody's nervous, even American students, when they're starting at a new university, they're anxious, they're not sure what's going to happen. They're excited, but everybody's a little anxious, especially international students. But coming to the United States, you're going to meet so many wonderful people here. You're going to meet American students. They're going to be very friendly. You're going to meet maybe other Indonesian students, right? You're going to meet other international students from other countries. So it's a great environment. Don't be too afraid, right? So we do have in the U.S. The universities will have a lot of different student services available. So where I work is the International Student Office, and so most universities will have this office as well. And this is where you can go to get specific as an international student. So anytime you need anything, you come to the International Student Office, and we have advisors, we have a team of staff here who will help you. For example, as you're coming, you're going to need health insurance. You're going to need to register for classes. You're going to need to get a tour of campus, right? You're going to need to check into housing. There are so many things that you have to do, but you can come to this one office, and that's where we help you. So we really try to make the transition for you as smooth as possible. Another thing that's really good about universities in the US, we have a career service office. So this, I know, is something important for a lot of students as you're preparing to get some work experience here in the US. Take advantage of the services offered by the Career Service Office. This office assists students with finding job opportunities. So there are career fairs. You can get help on creating your resume and how to do a job interview. So this is very important for international students. Also, we have a health service on campus. So that's one of the really good things about the universities in the United States is most of them will have a health service on campus. So if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling sick, you can go to this health service and you can get care. Okay, so that's important. I know a lot of families, they're worried about sending their children to a different country, and they're worried that what happens if they get sick, right? So health services is usually available at every university. Another thing that's available to you, in addition to the professors who will help you with your coursework, there are writing centers and oral communication centers. So if you need help with essay writing or proofreading some of your essays, or you need help with giving presentations, definitely take advantage of these services: Writing Center, Oral Communication Center. And then obviously, there are dining facilities and residence halls on campus. For my university where I work, Murray State University, we have 9 residence halls. So we have about 5,000 students that live on campus. And this is a great place to meet people and to get involved. And you're very close to all the different, academic buildings and student services. So living on campus is a great experience. I would definitely recommend it. The international students that we have who live on campus, they have a great experience. They get to meet people from the United States. They make friends. They kind of get outside their box a little bit, which is a good thing. And so living on campus is great. A lot of universities in the US will also have they will have apartments on campus. So if you're a master's student, or you're over 21 years old, you can live on campus. These are very affordable places. And this is also really good for you because you're able to walk everywhere. You're very close to everything that's available on campus. Also, it is possible, most universities will have off-campus housing. So you can live off campus if you're over 21 years old. Now, this is a little bit more complicated for international students. So usually what we recommend is when a international student first comes to the United States, try to live on campus. It's just going to make your life a lot simpler. But after a period of time, if you want to live off campus, it's definitely possible. The thing with that is you have to sign a lease. So you would have to live there for, maybe 12 months. You have to bring your own furniture. So it can be a little bit more complicated, but also sometimes a little bit less expensive. So we do have some international students who choose to live off campus as well. And I want to talk now about student life and student organizations. So, coming to the United States, obviously you are focused on your academics, you're coming for your degree, you're coming to advance your career opportunities. At the same time, it's really important to get involved. Okay, it's important to get involved with campus community. What you do inside the classroom is just as important as what you do outside the classroom. Okay, we encourage students to get involved with student organizations. Students who are involved are better prepared. They meet more people. Their language improves. They're able to really network and get to know a lot of people on campus, which will help them in their future careers. We have at most universities in the US, you'll see international student organizations. So this is a group of international students that organize activities, they do trips, and they also kind of help to make international students feel more at home. But at the same time, it's a great way for international students to be able to meet American students as well. So this is a really fun organization. Definitely try to get involved with the International Student Organization when you come to the US. This is going to help you a lot to meet people from other countries, but also Americans. But at the same time, most universities are going to have many different student organizations. Everything from, engineering to agriculture, Model United Nations, music. We have at my university, Murray State, we have a campus newspaper, we have a university TV station, we have a radio station. So there are so many different ways, music, art, so many different ways for you to get involved. So it's not just about the academics, obviously. Academics is important. You want to focus on your coursework, but try your best to get involved with the campus community as well. Some of the fun activities that you might see at some universities would be a coffee hour. So this is a great chance for you to meet faculty and staff and other students. Usually it's held once a week or maybe twice a month. It's free. You come there, you meet other students, you enjoy some coffee, some tea, and meet some other people. So it's a lot of fun. One thing I wanted to mention, a lot of our international students will work while they're here. So you can work on campus, you can work up to 20 hours a week. And this will allow you to make about $600 per month as a student worker. So between your academics, your student organizations, being involved on campus, and then working, you'll be pretty busy. That's how most of our international students spend their time. You can see here, this is a photo of one of the fun events that we have on our campus. It's called the All Campus Sing. So this is a group of international students who they perform on the steps of one of the auditoriums, and this is kind of a fun tradition that we have at our university. So every university in the US will have a fun tradition. So it's really great for you to be a part of those. Just showing our coffee shop on campus. I'll talk a little bit about the sports and recreation. So there are a lot of opportunities to get involved. If you're into fitness, if you're into sports, if you're into watching sports, students can do a lot of healthy things, a lot of active activities here on campus. We have a wellness center. So there's an indoor fitness center with a swimming pool and a track. Not just at my university, but most universities in the US are going to have this facility. It's free for you as a student. So definitely take advantage of that. Also, there are club sports. We call them intramural clubs. So these are competitions that are played between teams made up of university students. So anybody can join these. This is a lot of fun. Soccer, tennis, many different sports that students play. But then also we have in the US the NCAA teams. Those are the university teams. They play at a very high level. you can go to those games for free. So you can go watch basketball, football, soccer, tennis, golf. Those are a lot of fun. If you've ever been to a football game or a basketball game in the US, you'll know some of the games are super exciting, and you'll see a lot of students there. Some of the stadiums even hold 100,000 people. They're massive stadiums, right? So those can be a lot of fun to go watch as well. These are some of the fans at my university. So you'll see a lot of students and a lot of excited people watching the athletics. So I'll pause right there if I can and take any questions, Lilis. I don't know if we have any questions in there, and then I can talk a little bit more about Murray State University, if that's okay, if we have time.
Sure. We're quite flexible today. And do you want to take question first?
Sure, I'll take some questions. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
So everyone, if you have any question, feel free to unmute yourself. You can also type the question in the chat box so later on Tyson can address the questions. Very great presentation, Tyson. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's a lot to cover. You know, I'm trying to give a good idea of what it's like to study in the US, but it's
Right.
it can always be a little bit, you know, students are always a little bit anxious, you know, and so one thing that is really important to remember is, you know, the universities here, the university communities in the United States, the people here are very friendly. You know, you'll feel very welcome here when you come. We've had Indonesian students in the past and at my university, and we have students from about 60 different countries. And so there are staff members at every university that are there to help international students make that adjustment.
Right. Okay. So seems we have one question here from Ferdinand, and he's wondering about types of vaccines that is required before getting into university. And it would be great if you can also share the link later on. Probably now you may mention some of the names of the vaccine required.
Okay, so thank you, Adib, for your question. That's a very good question. Actually, there is no requirement to have a vaccine. So we are encouraging students. We want students to get the vaccine. It's available for free here on campus, but there's no requirement to have it. So in order to travel to the US, you would need to have the COVID test. Okay, so as long as you have the COVID test before you board the airplane, then then you can come to the US. That's not a problem. But the COVID vaccine that's the two that are most used here is Pfizer and Moderna.
Okay. So
Yeah.
apart from those two, if say for example here in Indonesia, most of the citizens got what the name is Sinovac, would they be acceptable to travel by Sinovac, or would the student required to get another vaccine?
Well, so that's the thing. I don't, right now in the US, nobody, the university, the government, nobody is asking to see your vaccine record. So you can enter the university, you can enter the US, you can enter the store without your vaccine record. So that particular vaccine, I don't know, I don't know if it's recognized by the US, but again, nobody's asking for it. It's not a requirement at this time.
Right. Okay. Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know that much about it. I wish I knew.
So we better check then, right? Before departing to the US. Okay. Now we have another question. Zulfatli raised hand. Zulfatli, if you have any question, feel free to unmute yourself. Zulfatli, are you there? I'll probably wait. And while we wait for Zulfatli, probably she needs time. He needs time, sorry. Following with the health requirements. And I think when I assist students, some university before the students departed require them to have, say, for example, the TB test and also the MRI. What about in Murray University?
Murray State University, we do not ask for the vaccination records. Yeah, we don't require
Okay.
that. We don't require that.
But upon their arrival to UU University, would there be any medical checkup needed, or would they need to kind of pass some medical tests before
No,
starting the class? No?
no.
Oh, wow. Oh, good to know.
Yeah,
Right.
every university is different.
Yeah.
Some are more strict on that. Some are
Yeah.
less strict, but for us, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking
it's
about
like to
different
enter the
university. Yeah. Go on, Tyson.
well, and it's to enter the U.S. To come to the U.S. you don't need to show any of the vaccination records or anything like that.
Okay. Right. Okay. And
But yes,
talking
you're right. I mean,
about-
it's a
yeah.
good question because some universities do require that. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, cool. Is there any other question from our participant? I would have a question then about OPT. Many probably are not really aware about the OPT. Would you share with our participants today what is OPT, and then how the students or the alumni can apply for OPT, and what kind of support from university provided to help the student? Yeah.
Sure. So OPT is optional practical training. And basically what it allows for a student to come to the United States on a student visa. They complete their degree, they earn their degree, and then they are able to work in the United States. So they can work up to 3 years. If they have a degree in STEM, so that's science, technology, engineering, mathematics, they can keep their student visa and they can work at a company here in the US for up to 3 years. If they graduate from a non-STEM program, so that would be, something like an MBA or, economics, marketing, they can still do OPT. They can get the work experience, but it would be for 1 year. So OPT is really great because, you come here with your student visa, you're able to earn your degree, and then you can get some work experience here in the US.
Yeah.
And so what we do, almost all of our international students, almost all, want to get work experience here in the US. So we help students get OPT, and we have a career service office on campus. Most universities in the US will have a career service office. So we will help you find a job in the US. We have career fairs. We have opportunities for you to meet employers, and then once you have a position, we will help you get OPT.
Right.
So it's a pretty simple process, and almost all of our students do that.
Okay, right. And it means that the students can apply to any vacancies or companies, right? To OPT. Okay.
Yes. The company should have some approval from the government. It can't be any company, but there are many companies in the US that are able to hire a student with OPT. So yes, there are a lot of opportunities, definitely.
Okay, and when did they actually encouraged to apply? Is that when they graduate, or say, for example, in the last semester of their study?
Start earlier. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely start earlier.
Mhm.
Actually, I tell students to go to the career service office, in their first year when they first come here. Start going to the career service office, start working on your resume, start working on your LinkedIn profile,
Mhm.
start going to the career fairs. It's good to start meeting companies. Maybe you can get an internship even before you graduate.
Yeah.
There's some opportunities like that to do internships before you graduate, to get to know some of the employers. But definitely, yeah, start before you graduate.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wonderful information. I think that is one of opportunity that international students should not miss, because it would kind of, like strengthen your resume upon your return from the US, right? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
And thank you, Tyson, for sharing. We actually have another question from EAN Madura, from Abdul Wafi. If we go to study there without scholarship, how much money we have to prepare for life in a month? Probably the living costs and then the
Okay.
tuition and fees. Yes.
Yes, that's a very good question. Yes.
Yeah.
So let me explain the tuition and the cost of attendance in the U.S. The universities can vary greatly. Some universities are very expensive, some are less expensive, and then also the cost of living, depending on where you live. It can be expensive. You can go to some places that are more affordable. So my university, where I work, is Murray State University. Let me share my screen one more time, if that's okay. Lilis, let me try to share my screen.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Tyson.
Perfect. I'm gonna jump to the part about tuition. So this will help me a little bit, and this way they can see my screen as well. So Murray State University is considered, to be a very affordable university. If you're coming for a bachelor's degree program, our tuition is $14,000 per year. And then living expenses are about $10,000 to $11,000 per year. And this includes everything. This includes your housing on campus. This includes unlimited meals. This includes your books and insurance. It also includes some personal expenses. So you're looking at about $26,000 for your entire cost of attendance for 1 year. And then for master's students, also very, very affordable, $8,000 per year. Typically, master's degrees are completed in 2 years. So you're looking at about $16,000 total for your entire master's degree. Very, very affordable. And housing, meals, books, insurance, that all comes to about $9,000 per year. So it just really depends on where you are living. Murray State University is in a college town, so we're a big university in a small city. So the cost of living here is much less than it would be in a big city. We were talking earlier before the presentation about living in Boston or living in New York. Those are great places, but they're very, very, very expensive to live there. So living in a small town, in a college town, we call it a college town. It's a great place because it's very affordable. So we have apartments on campus. If you for example, if you live in one of our apartments on campus, everything is included, like utilities, furniture, internet, electricity, everything. You have a roommate and you only spend $300 per month. If you do the same thing, if you try to live in California, maybe you'll spend $1,500 per month. Maybe 3 or 4 times as expensive to live in California or to live in Boston. So that's one of the great things about Murray State University is, our affordability, our tuition. We've actually lowered the tuition. So international students pay the same tuition that American students pay. We're very happy about that. And then at the same time, we're not in a big city, so the living expenses are very affordable as well. And then you can see on the right, I'm getting to his question. I think his question was about scholarships. We do have scholarships available for international students. So you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, we have transfer scholarships. We have international leadership scholarships. These are valued at $1,000 to $2,000 per year. We have a lot of these available. So if you apply for admission, feel free to contact me. I'll give you my email address in the chat here in a second, but feel free to contact me, contact Lilis. She can also get you in touch with me. But we do have a lot of scholarships available for international students. And then the other thing you can do is you can work on campus. So your main purpose of coming to the US is to study, but at the same time, find a job on campus. Almost all of our international students work. So you can have enough time to do your studies, work on campus, get involved with the activities I was telling you about earlier. But working on campus, you can make about $600 per month. So that will also help you with your budget.
Yeah. And in addition to that, I think we can also introduce what's called community college. If you want to kind of save more money to continue your undergraduate study, you can start with community college, where you can access much lower cost of attendance. And then later on, the good thing about education system in the US, after you graduate from community college 2 year, you can later transfer to university for another 2-year study. And in the end, you will have two certificate. One is what they call associate degree from community college, and later on you will get your or you will earn your bachelor degree from universities that you are transferring to, right? And then that's what Tyson mentioned about the transfer scholarships, right? So the transfer students from community college, and many international students, including Indonesia, are now trying to access that path, because that is one way to kind of have an affordable attendance cost, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, you can come to the US for your first 2 years as a community college student. And some of the community colleges here, your tuition might be, $6,000 or $7,000, $8,000 per year, maybe less even. So you can get a very affordable, start to your bachelor's degree. And then once you finish your first 2 years at the community college, then you can come to a 4-year institution and you can earn your bachelor's degree. So that's also a good option.
Yeah. And interesting information from Murray State University is that you charge the same cost of attendance for international students and local students, right? And domestic students. And that is what makes Murray kind of different, because in some universities, they will kind of add more cost of attendance for international students compared to domestic students. Yeah, good information, Tyson. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have questions? Feel free to ask to Tyson while he's here with us.
We have a good group here.
Yeah.
30 students, which is great.
The more the merrier.
That's very good. Yes.
Oh, I'm wondering about the cost and the tuition and fees that is charged by your university. It says that undergraduate is almost double the cost of attendance than graduate. Why is that so? Why undergraduate is much expensive, Tyson?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure myself, but yeah, very good question. I don't know. You would think it would be the other way around, right?
Yeah, probably more practical of things like labs, no?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really
All
don't
right.
know. I really
No
don't know.
problem. No
Yeah,
problem then.
I've wondered it many times myself.
Okay. All right. Okay, probably you may also share the popular programs in Murray University if students are interested in applying.
Sure. Yeah, let me go back to my screen here real quick. Let me see if I can share it with you. So we have over 143 academic programs here at Murray State University. Our bachelor's programs, you can see on the screen, we have nearly 90 bachelor's programs. These are some of our most popular programs. So most of our international students, they like to do business, computer science, engineering, but we also have international students in almost every program, agriculture,
It's
nursing,
my connection.
public health,
Yeah.
teaching, TESOL, that's a popular program for us. So bachelor's degrees in the US, they're 4-year degrees. And typically students will start, mostly with general studies courses. That's going to be, science, math, art, history, English. We call those general studies. So about 1/3 of the bachelor's degree will be those courses. And then by your second year, your third year, you really start moving into your major, your area of concentration. So these are great bachelor's programs that we have. Let me show you also the master's programs that we offer. Master's degrees are typically 1.5 years. Depends if a student wants to do a master's program in 1 year, it's possible. Some students, they want to go a little bit slower. They do a master's program in 2 years. So you can see here the most popular master's programs we have would be our business administration program. That's a Master of Science in Business Administration. That's an AACSB accredited program. So there are, if you're an MBA student listening, there are about 800 universities in the world that have this accreditation, AACSB. So this means that the quality of the education, the professors, the instruction is the highest quality. If you're looking for an MBA program, look for an AACSB accredited program. We also have a very strong information systems program. This is in computer science, the computer science department. Excellent job opportunities with information systems, mass communications. We have public administration with a concentration in public health. One of our more recent graduates from Indonesia was in our TESOL program, teaching English, right? So I think that's your area, Lilis, is that right? You were in
Yeah.
the English department.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
also the department that we are collaborating with, where Professor Dr. Zulfikar is the head. Yeah.
Dr. Zulfikar is the head of the English department. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we have a really good range of master's programs as well. The last 2 Indonesian students we had were both for masters. We had a student in our MBA program, and then we had a student in our TESOL program, teaching English. Oh, and I just have some photos here. We have a beautiful campus, by the way, 62 buildings.
Oh, wow.
International Student Organization. We try to, we want international students to feel welcome here on our campus. This is graduation. This is a commencement. And then this is, if you want to take down our website, please visit our website. We have a virtual tour there available. And then also Lilis, I want to give students my email address, if that's
Sure.
okay.
Sure.
And then
sure.
also, to have them, also encourage them to reach out to you, because I know you know a lot about the U.S. higher education options available to them.
I kind of also type the link where the participants can book a free consultation with Education USA advisors in Indonesia. Simply click calendly.com/Education USA Indonesia, and you can choose any advisors in different locations in Indonesia. Yeah. Just wonder where students can go if, say, for example, during their study, they have difficulties in writing or probably in understanding courses. What can they do, and what kind of support that university provides? Tyson, would you share? Because we have, like some students coming late, and probably it would be useful to repeat a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, there are a lot of resources for students, and not only for international students, for American students. You can always find somebody at the university to help you. Professors have office hours, right? So you'll be going to a classroom. Usually the class sizes in the US are very small, maybe 10, 15, 20 students. So that's one of the great things about coming to the US for university. Class sizes are very small, very personalized education. If you need help, always go talk to your professors. They have office hours, they have designated times throughout the week where you can go meet them one-on-one. Okay. And that's a great, chance for you to be able to get some extra support, get some extra help from your professors. We also have tutoring available at the university. So if you have specific subjects or specific areas where you need extra help, you can always go and get free tutoring services. Those are available. Most universities, including my university, Murray State, we have a writing center. So this is a place where, if you're working on a paper, working on an essay, a project, you can go there and you can find very knowledgeable people who will help you proofread and correct your writing. Okay. A lot of the, it depends on what you're studying, what field you're studying, but a lot of the homework will involve writing, so you can, if you need extra help with that, or you need somebody to help you proofread your work, you can find that at the university, and that's a free service for students. So take advantage of that. Definitely take advantage of that.
Sorry, I'm muted. No, we have another question, Tyson. It's from YM Madura from Pak Abdul Wafi again. A great question. Oh, so if he wants to introduce Murray State University to the students, what should he do? How can, what can he do next, probably, if he wants to introduce your university to the students?
Okay, well, good. Thank you, Abdul. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. Contact me or contact Lilis, and we can give you more information. Where I work, I work with international students. I help students learn more about applying for admission and the programs that we offer, and transitioning to student life here in the US. So definitely reach out to us. And Lilis also is doing something very similar.
Yeah.
So yes, we would be happy to talk with your students. Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Again, if you need further information about different universities, like say, for example, Tyson is particularly working with Murray University, right? And I'm, as Education USA advisors, I work independently. I do not represent any university, so that is a good thing as well. So if like you need info from Murray, I will refer you to Tyson, and if you need information about other universities, feel free to contact me. So I'll find the contact and see what we can do to help you with the information needed. Yeah, a great question, Pa Abdul. We'll be really happy to be connected with you as well. Do we have any other question from Tyson? Anybody? You may type it in the chat box, or you may also unmute yourself. Feel free to open mic and ask direct question. Okay. No questions. Okay, I have another questions. So I learned from your presentation that bachelor students are required to stay on campus, right? And then how is it like during pandemic? How did university manage that?
Sure, that's a good question. So we're trying to be very careful and very safe, but
Yeah.
at the same time, almost everything is back to normal. So we have, 9,000 at my university, 9,500 students. Students are living on campus, students are going to class, students are eating in the cafeteria, there are events, we have sports, we have basically everything is back to normal, but we are trying to be as careful as possible. So we have required that students wear a mask when they're inside, when they're indoors. So students need to wear a mask indoors. And then also, we don't require the vaccine, but we have a vaccine available every day. So anytime a student wants to get the vaccine, they can get the vaccine. Also, anytime a student wants to get tested, for example, if they're not feeling well, if they want to get tested, they can get tested on campus. That's free as well. So to answer your question, yes, very good question. We are basically back to normal, but with a few modifications. But the student experience is still really great. That's one of the things I was trying to say earlier is, coming to the United States, obviously, you're coming to get a great education, but also you're coming for the student experience, you're coming to meet people, you're coming to get involved. And that's still going on. That's still happening here. So we're happy about that. We're happy about that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, hang on. I've got the questions. Okay.
We
yeah.
have new international students. We have a lot of new international students applying for admission right now. It's a good time to think about coming to the U.S. And I know, like you said, Lilis, Murray State University, we're a great university, but there are 5,000 higher education institutions in the U.S. So you have many options here. Talk to Lilis. She's I know she's a very knowledgeable resource. Obviously, we'd be happy to see you here at Murray State University, but again, there are many universities in the U.S. And so I know, Lilis, you give a lot of valuable information to students.
And that is actually one of the very difficult steps in preparing your study, like Tyson say, is not getting scholarship is one thing, but choosing the right best fit universities is another thing. And that is the first step you have to really carefully plan, right? Like consider the best fit universities from different factors, like for example, the cost of attendance would be one. And then if you think, okay, private universities is much more expensive than public university, or probably say, for example, you have, after doing research, there are 10 universities that offer the programs that you aim, but then the cost varies, then you can decide which one would best fit your profile and probably your capability as well. And the requirement is another thing, and the lectures, and then what else? The facilities. Is another one is a location. Not everyone can stand or bear very chilly winter. So then you might consider location that that is would be really, really killing you during winter, right? Something that some places that would be warmer, and or probably you consider, oh, I want to have or probably study in a university where international students a lot, and then also probably students from Indonesia. And I think the first priority should be the programs. Consider the program that would kind of provide you a lot of new insights and skills that would help you later on crack your future career. Yeah, okay. We have another question. I would be so happy if I get a chance to be part of the students in the US, but what should we prepare before we get ready to go to the US? What can we prepare, Tyson?
Yeah, that's a big question, you know, how to prepare. You know, in my opinion, definitely do your research on where the university is located. Do your research on the university's website. So you want to know, kind of like Lilis was mentioning, am I going to a warm climate? Am I going to a cold climate? Am I going to a big university? Am I going to a small university? You know, it really depends on where you're going. But I mean, the important things that you want to know, you know, you want to be able, you know, to number one, be going for a program that is a good match for you. Okay, so you want to have chosen a good academic program. You want to know the cost of attendance, right? How much is it going to cost, and you know, are you going to be able to afford your studies? And then the location, the environment, you know, where are you going to live? Are you going to be, if you're a master's student, you can live off campus, or you can live in an apartment. If you're an undergraduate student, you know, you're under 21, you can live on campus, right? So that's a huge question. You know, that's hard to answer, how to prepare. But I think, you know, the main things are, you know the academic program you're going to be studying. Follow the instructions of the international office, because you're going to get a lot of instructions on, you know, what time to arrive and which airport to arrive, and how to get from the airport to the university. So those small things, right? Bring your, you know, official transcripts. I mean, there's just so many different steps. You know, it's a long process. You know, it takes a long time to get admission to a university. It takes a long time to get a visa. It takes a lot of work to get to the university, you know. So there are steps you have to go through, step by step. It's not as hard as it seems, you know. You just have to do it step by step. And I think you'll be fine. You know, I think you'll be fine. Reach out to people like me. I help students every day with this, you know. Today I was helping a student apply for housing. He was an admitted student. He's coming here next semester, and we're helping him do the housing application because he wants to live on campus, you know. So it's just small things like that you can find people to help you. A lot of it you can find out on your own through the website. You can contact people like Lily, you know, she'll be able to help you as well. So yeah, I don't know if I answered the question very well, but
one thing that I could add, probably in the process of preparation before applying to US universities, do check the requirement for international students, because different universities, as mentioned before, require international students to submit different documents and set different standards as well. Like, say, for example, TOEFL test. Some university would expect you to submit 100, and some would simply say, okay, 90, it's okay, and some would say, okay, it's 80, for example. So that for international students that I've been working with, I learned that many face difficulties and meeting the requirements of TOEFL. That is the first thing. So if you think English is one of the problems you have, so take as much as time to prepare as early as possible to prepare your English, and then later on you can be more competitive for your qualifications. And another thing would be the GRE. Some universities, if we talked about international graduate programs, some programs or universities will ask you to submit graduate record examination. So in Indonesian version, it's like TPA, tes potensi akademik, but the questions are in English. That's how it like. Okay. Sorry, Mbak Farah, would you please mute yourself? Boleh ditolong dimatikan dulu, Mbak, mic-nya. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Muted. No, I'm muted. So the GRE, after GRE, if you are enrolling for, say, for example, undergraduate, another test would be SAT. That kind of the test. But during pandemic, many universities also waived the GRE and SAT, but not the English proficiencies unless you were graduated from English speaking countries, right? Or maybe you graduated from universities where the language of instructions is English as well. So it depends from universities to universities. So do check the requirement from universities websites, and then check international requirement, and then prepare as early as possible. Also with SOP or statement of purpose, do allow yourself to read your essays and provide feedback, and then to revise before you submit to university. Okay. Oh, we have a next question from Zulfatli. Is it possible to be a research assistant at Murray University? And if it is, what are the general requirements and procedure to apply for research assistantships? That's great questions. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Thank you.
Tyson, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you. So yes, it is possible to be a research assistant or a graduate assistant or a teacher's assistant. Usually those positions are available, but also limited in number. So not every student will be able to get a research assistantship position. They're very competitive. So normally each department, you know, maybe chemistry or business or computer science, you know, they will have some of those positions available, but not that many, maybe 2 or 3 positions are available each year. So most of our international students who are able to get one of those positions, they usually come here and they start their studies. You know, maybe they work as a student worker on campus. So maybe they work, you know, in the cafeteria or the coffee shop as a student worker. And then when a research assistantship or a graduate assistantship position opens up, they can apply for it, you know, because by that time they know the professors, you know, they have already started their studies and they've become, you know, well known, right? They've shown that they're a very good student, and so they'll have a better chance of getting one of the graduate assistantship positions. So yes, absolutely, it's possible. It's just, you know, in most universities, those positions are competitive. So maybe only, you know, 10% of students will get one, but yes, absolutely possible. What's easier to get, you know, if you don't get a research assistantship or assistantship or one of those positions, is you can work as a student worker, you know. So most of our international students, they work on campus. Like I said, it could be in the library, it could be in the cafeteria. And you can still make, you know, you can make about $500 or $600 per month as a student worker. So that will also help your budget.
Right. Yes. Graduate assistantship, many are not really familiar with that. And thank you, Tyson, for addressing that. And Fatli for questioning that question as well. Do we have any other question? It's almost 10 o'clock Indonesian time. What time is it in your in Kentucky?
It's 9:58. Yeah, almost 10 o'clock.
Almost 10 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
Right. Any
It's
other
easy.
question? One last question, probably. Feel free to unmute yourself, or you may also type it in the chat box if you have any questions. Okay. No? Right. Thank you, everyone. If you do not have any questions, I will repeat Education USA, Indonesia, and around the world. It's a center under U.S. Department of State. They provide free services for all students or everyone who wants to study in the U.S. and need assistance in terms of how to choose universities, how to find the best fit universities. What about funding? How can I apply to U.S. universities? If I got accepted, how can I apply for visa? And finally, if you have your own visa ready, what kind of preparation I need to make before packing my stuff and depart to the US? So do address your question to Education USA Indonesia, and I've posted the link above in calendly.com/Education USA Indonesia, and that link will take you to the webpage where you can select any advisors working in Indonesia in different cities, right? And Tyson, do you have any closing remark for our participants today?
No, I'd like to just say thank you all so much. The questions were excellent, and it was really a pleasure to be here and to tell you a little bit more about education in the United States. And I hope that you all will keep going strong with your studies, and we'd be happy to give you more information and hopefully welcome you to one of the universities here in the US. And thank you again, Lilis, for your time. And I look forward to seeing you all again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tyson. We really value your time and your willingness to be with us for the second sessions and share with us a very valuable information. Hope it kind of provide new insight for students here in Indonesia and how as it is like to study in the US and what kind of support. So don't worry. Well, it is not, I wouldn't say traveling to the US is very, very easy. There would be challenging and hard. Yes, yes.
Okay, Tyson, thank you very much. I'm heading on my way to teaching, so
yes,
I cannot turn on my video anymore. So I'd like to appreciate your times.
Yeah.
And we would like to discuss a bit more later on the issue that we discussed earlier.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Thank you very much as well. Yeah. All right, see you, Tyson. See you around. Okay. Bye-bye,
Yeah.
Bu Lilis. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thanks.
Really happy that you will be assist Tyson with the partnership as well.
All right, all right.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Have a great day and have a great evening to you, Tyson, in the US, right? Stay safe, everyone. Tyson, Dr. Zul. I'll see you in the next session. See you when I see you then. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.